All right.
So now you're isolating people. You're telling them you have to live here.
So, what are these mechanisms and how did they work in the real world? Redlining is basically a framework to determine how desirable a neighborhood is based on race. This is how it went.
When we're assessing these neighborhoods, there's basically four rankings. The green, that was the highest ranking, and it was like, vibrant homes, people are working, rents are high, no subversive racial elements. It was not integrated. And then you had a blue rank that was like, yes, really strong neighborhood, but a little closer to places that are racially integrated. Then you have the yellow that was next to a red line space. And so it was in danger. You didn't know which way it was going to go, but it was next to the red line space. And then you would have the red line places where they would say, look at the detrimental influences of the neighborhood. And one of those was the lack of race covenants.
And what were race covenants? Well, those were deeds that told people they could only sell property to whites. Banks also ruled out making loans and mortgages in certain neighborhoods regardless of the applicant's finances.
So it wasn't really any formal mortgage industry. So you saw that the ability to control housing markets through race was very easy then. So by designing the marketplace around rules that revolve around color, we should not be surprised that we see this racial spatial wealth gap today, because that's how it started.
This wouldn't end until 1968, when the NAACP got Congress to pass the Fair Housing Act. The act banned discrimination regarding the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, and sex. So how did race covenants and other housing ordinances impact Black Americans today? To start with, it stalled the socioeconomic growth of an entire generation, which furthered inequity between Black and white Americans. Persistent residential segregation since then has led to the hyper-surveillance of Black communities by police. Today, the language of so-called law and order is often based in the same racist fear-mongering that redlining and race covenants were based on, stoking white fear of Black people.
And so you create these fears because you have to enforce. And this becomes the implicit bias. And this is what we use in how we distribute public finance dollars, infrastructure dollars. Who gets the roads? Who gets the light rails? Who gets the schools? Who gets the STEM programs? Who gets health care? Who gets tested for COVID? And you see how this all happens all the way up to today.
But it's not just...
See, there you go, man. So this has been a systematic policy of the wicked, man. All right? Systematic policy of the wicked. All right? Now, you go to Psalm 64, all right? And the title here is Prayer for Deliverance from Secret Enemies. All right? And who is those secret enemies, man? All right? These secret societies, man. And they're not secret. If they're secret, why is there books on it? It's not secret anymore. But they have organizations under them and they are in charge. Why do you think Masons like to get sportsmen, entertainers, governors, commissioners, presidents, and control them? All right, because they can implement policies like this to destroy their true enemy, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, and another way they're doing it is through the music. All right, this is this was done years ago, but this nigger on the screen, Meek Mills, said that they pay them more to rap about ignorant stuff, and he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth. Yeah, he's not as he was a rapper and he came up and he was rapping all that violent stuff. He was from the hood and all that bullshit. But on here, he's telling the truth, man. All right, he's telling the truth. Now this guy on the screen, academics, whatever, this nigga is trying to say that there's no conspiracy against us, where people are paying you more to rap about that stuff. No, I'm gonna prove that, man. That they are paying these niggas to rap about criminality. Look at the areas that our people live. You saw it in this video here. They're deprived. So if you can make a ghetto superstar, all right, and you look at him as a role model, and then you look at him, he's got the money, he's got the ice, he's got the women, his posters everywhere, he's on magazines, then that's gonna make gullible niggas and nigger women, follow suit. And we know that that road leads to what? Death, destruction. All right, it's not a secret. Okay. Pace.
The truth is, when it works, it works. The audience that.
When I would never lose that. And
wait, somebody got hit with a chair during that brawl? I didn't see that part. Y'all gotta send me that video.
Me and people like Rob and myself, he opened doors for me to be on stages like this, because before I wasn't on stages like this. I was on rap stages rapping about, violence and guns. That we get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff, so I make sure I even a line and come on, talk on stages like this. But you guys, the NAACP open up.
Why the hell is Meek lying? Ain't nobody pay you more to rap about. They pay you more for hit songs, brother. You see, I think what Meek is saying here is dangerous in theory, because he's fallen back into some ignorance that the only reason why negative music exists is that there's some higher power paying for it to happen. No,
No, there is a higher power paying for it to happen. All right. Now he's gonna defend it because he's submitted to that higher power. All right. But what Meek Mill said is absolutely right. Okay. And when you go to Psalms, all right, it's talking about this. It says the secret counsel of the wicked. All right. That's all these secret societies and all these boule and all this kind of stuff. And we're gonna read about it in a minute. But I wanna tap into what this guy said. Meek Mills is absolutely right. They do pay them. They do pay them more to rap about ignorant stuff because they know who there's a difference between a kid, all right, that is white and listens to that music. They won't get as influenced, all right, as a young Jake will, because a young Jake is living in an area where he doesn't see a lot of success. Okay. And remember, they've whitewashed your history. I remember there was a video where they went to a black area in America, and it was in New York actually, and I think it was Sarnetta, and he gave them free pictures, and one was of the white Jesus, Cesare Borgia, one was Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and they asked these black kids which one of these men means the most to you, and they all pointed to white Jesus. All right. And you know why they did that? Because of their mums, man. And some of them that have dads that are coons and go to church, man. They actually pointed to Cesare Borgia. Okay, so when they see these young rappers and entertainers, living it up, it makes them want to do that and go down that road. And we know that road leads to what? Destruction, man. All right. And I'm going to prove it. So he's just lying, man. He's lying.
Icons.
And there's a reason why he's lying, because that he submitted to that same entity, DJ Academics. I think he's got his own clothing label and everyone comes on him. So he had to sell out. So he's going to say that, man. You know what I mean? He is going to say that. If you have an Adidas deal or a Nike deal or whatever, you have to sell out, man. It's as simple as that. All right. All right, what's this?
Opening things spiritually. And this is not the first time. This is just the latest occasion. So most recently, he said that the music industry is demonic, and he said that he's demonic in the same interview. But before this interview even aired, he had a song, and I wrote down his lyrics because in his song, he said something even more interesting in my opinion. He said that people think that I'm glorifying this, but I'm not happy. People think that I'm glorifying the lifestyle. People think that I'm glorifying the sin. People think that I'm glorifying all the negativity that I'm rapping about. They think I'm promoting it, but I'm not happy. That's what he said in the song. And the reason why he's saying all this stuff, and some of y'all are not going to understand what I'm saying, so you have to watch the entire video so I can explain with the Bible exactly what I'm saying. The reason why he's saying all this stuff is because he's under the law. And according to the law, this is what is produced for individuals who are under the law. Like I said, some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. So I promise you, this won't take long for us to watch these clips, and then I'll clarify exactly what I mean for those of you, or all of you, who may not know what I'm saying. All right? Listen, let's start here. So this is the interview in question. This is the interview that recently went viral. NBA YoungBoy says the music industry is demonic. Let's play it.
Man, this is very demonic. This whole industry, this whole system, all this demonic. It's very, all this ran off money, all this do not mean nothing. It's very demonic. This whole music industry is very demonic. As I saw the crosses in the Jesus piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say, this shit demonic. I'm very demonic. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door.
So he said, this is demonic. This is very demonic. And then he said, I'm very demonic. He said, I'm very demonic. And that there's a lot of devils coming in and out of his door. I want to play this clip as well. This is from earlier this year. His neighbor was walking her dog, as she typically does.
Yeah, well, he said this music industry is demonic. He's telling the truth. He's telling 100%. He's telling 100% truth. And he sounded like he was on something while he was saying that, man. You know, slurring his speech and shit like that. You know, but this is his neighbor because he lives in Utah or somewhere like that. And he was in prison. I don't know if he's out of prison. Maybe he's come out of prison or whatever. But basically, she bumped into him. And she said that he's a nice neighbor and so forth. And she said, I don't know your music. Maybe one time I'll listen to your music. And this nigga, NBA YoungBoy, is a rapper. He said, I wouldn't recommend you listen to my music. You know, so when he says that he is demonic and the industry is demonic, all right, he's telling the truth, man. Okay, he's telling the truth. He's not lying. You know, he's not lying. And basically, he's there, and he said it in this other video. I'm gonna try and find it, but there's another video that I want to show of him basically admitting, all right, that just like Meat Mills, all right, and this shows, all right, that the scriptures are real, that there is a secret council of the wicked that wants to destroy us, all right, and they're using wicked niggas like this guy, all right, to do that, man, to promote all this death and destruction, popping Marleys, popping Percocets, and all this madness, man. All right.
Hey,
you know, because when you're a celebrity, it's like you've got influence and the volume's turned up. You know what I mean? So anything you say, some gullible nigger is gonna swallow it, man. All right. So they know the value of getting people that look like us to promote demonic behavior. Okay.
I do want to feel positive about myself though one day. Like, alright, you did it. Nothing's wrong with you. You're okay to walk this earth. You're not a bad person. You're not someone who's fucking it up. I'm just curious on the man that I'm gonna become. I think I grew out of liking music, like the love for it. But it's like, it's therapy. It's the only way I can express myself. And as I sit down behind the mic and just let things flow out of my mouth, I feel relieved. Man, I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16 all the way to this point in my life. And I woke up one morning and I was like, damn, they got me. Man, look at the shit I spoke about. Look at the shit I put in these people's ears. Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music. How many kids and people have gotten in the car or put this shit in their ears and actually hurt someone. And now I'm sitting back like, damn, I can't do it all in one day. But I promise to clean whatever I can clean. But it's gonna take time.
You can hear what he said. I mean, it's hard to hear him because again, he's on drugs. He's on drugs, man. That's how he copes with selling his soul. You heard him. I'm the air man. But the gist of what he said is, look at the shit that I have rapped about, and all my music has gone in people's ears, and all the violence that that is caused. People have listened to my music, and and been violent to someone or killed someone, and he said that he's sorry for it, and he wants to make up for it. It's gonna take time. You see, it's too late for that, man. It's too late for that, man. You've done poison. I mean, look at his look. NBA YoungBoy's music and videos have been streamed over more than 10 billion times. 10 billion times. All right, his music has been streamed. That could be the same person being a fan and streaming again and again. But we're talking about millions of people around the world that have been listening to this demonic music. And you saw in that clip, he said, this music industry is demonic. I am demonic. All right? And that just goes back to what I was going to break down here. Psalm 64:1. All right? All right, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. All right, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. See, the secret counsel of the wicked is the people that are paying him. Okay? And by the way, after that interview, when he said all that stuff about regretting it, all right, all of a sudden he got caught with doing some prescription pill scam, and they sent him to prison, man. They sent him to prison. Okay, he was in prison, man. And the judge had mercy on him. The judge sent him away, but he had mercy on him. Maybe he's out now. I don't know, because I don't really keep up with these things. But that interview that he did, soon after that, he was on house arrest at the time, but after that he got scooped up and he was in prison, man. If you don't comply with them, that's the kind of things that they do. Same with DMX, they did the same thing. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Iniquity is sin upon sin. That's what they want. That's why they're paying these rappers all this money, all right, to do all this wickedness. Okay? They're paying them, all right, because what does that do? It affects your subconscious mind, etc. And you start wanting to live that life. Look at all the drill music murders, all right. Verse 3, who wet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, all right, that they may shoot in secret, not out there, in secret, man, at the perfect, all right, at the perfect. Okay, and who's that talking about? It's definitely not talking about the Moabites, so-called Chinese. All right, it's talking about you Israelites, man. The Lord didn't make no mistakes when he made us. Okay, and when we keep his law, statute, commandments, we are perfect, and in the kingdom That's what we're going to be perfect, man. When we have all those laws, in our heart, in our inward parts, we're going to be programmed to never sin. That's going to be the best thing about the kingdom. In the kingdom, you're never going to regret nothing, because you're always going to be righteous. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. See, they're doing all this wickedness and not fearing. All right? But the Lord's going to make them fear, man. All right? In these last days. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter, paying niggas to rap about wickedness. You notice that his fingernails was polished. What man puts polishes his fingernails? He's trying to turn out Jake, man. That's why they had Little Nas X. There's a video where this woman said that Little Nas X wasn't even gay, but they told him to say he was gay. See, that's all the wickedness of this devil. All right? They encourage themselves in an evil matter, so they have no fear. All right? They commune of laying snares. Snares are traps privily. All right? And secretly. They say, who shall see them? All right? Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent service. Search. And that's why we have to be diligent in his truth, to confound the wiles of the devil, man. All right? Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right? They have a deep-seated hatred to get rid of us, man. Okay? Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, and suddenly they shall be wounded, man. And that's going to come in the form of nuclear missiles and Yahushua chariots, man. And he deserves it. He deserves it, man. All right? But remember, the Lord is on the elect side. Verse 8. All right, this is the main point. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See? Their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. So the Lord is being merciful, all right, unto us, because they got these evil plans. They're paying these niggas wicked, money, to be wicked. And by the way, that NBA young boy, he's been scammed out of millions of royalties by his record label Atlantic, and they are demonic, man. They are demonic. They are demonic. None of his YouTube. There was this thing that was on there. It said, all the views that he's had, if they paid him, all right, fairly for all the streams and all that stuff, real royalties, he would have $50 million more, man. But that's what happens when you sell out, man. All right, you give yourself to Satan. He's not happy. He's got that big house and all that stuff, but he's not happy. You can see it. He could barely speak. All right. Okay. So their tongue is full upon themselves. The people that sell out are actually telling us, the public, what the plan is. All right. Verse 9. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. And the elect is widely considering his doing. That's why we're trying to get right with him, man, so he have mercy on us in these last days. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. So all these snares and traps is not going to affect the elect. And a part of it is this music. And he's just told you. So that's a clear picture of the oppression that we're under. All right, they're using all kinds of, all kinds of things, man, to try and muck Jake up. But very soon, like this stupid video here. All right, and I'm gonna play it. This is a good reason why the Lord is allowing Donald Trump in your black neighborhoods, man, because the Lord has got to get rid of people like this, man. All right.
You don't even know me from a can of paint. You from Chicago? You ain't from Atlanta.
Another girl on the show, who obviously also didn't like Vaughn either, walked up to them, trying to back up the other girl, and pressed Vaughn about being a fake gangster and a struggling rapper.
All right, what are you laughing for? I heard you yell something on the laughing.
Cause allegedly he not really from Chicago, so This guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence, and Clarence's parents have a real good marriage.
My stepdad named Clarence.
Look, you see, look, hey, look.
Y'all too young for 8.
My stepdad was in the trenches.
You see how delusional she is? She don't even know that lady. She just ran with something she said. And they
Like she following the trend type.
How you a rapper with no songs? Who are you? Who are you?
What?
Who you is?
You delusional.
What type of songs you got?
You delusional.
Who you got features with?
You are. You see, that's the reason why this prophecy of Jacob's trouble has to happen, man. All right, it has to happen. It has to come. You know, and a lot of our people, you're gonna die in your oppression, more or less. All right, you're gonna die in your oppression, man. All right, you're gonna be oppressed and crushed always, and then the Lord is just gonna, the Lord is just gonna get rid of you, man. All right. Okay. Because it has to happen. People like that. And that's all this white man is gonna do, is put people like that, you know, don't even want to call them Israelites, like that on Front Street. And that's why our reputation around the world is mud. All right. So that woman in the debate, all right, that woman in the debate, what's her name? Amanda Seals, when she was talking about, she was talking to that woman, and the woman said, oh, you know, about all the music and, you know, this, that, and the other. And then she said, but who's the one that actually, who's the one that promotes all that stuff? Who's the distributors? You know, she's right.
I'll ask you, do you think we're resilient?
You know?
What does resilience mean to you? Do you think we have to be perpetual victims, or do you think that black...
She's absolutely right. There's a bit here where she's talking to this guy, and she says, who's the one that distributes all of that black degeneracy? It's not us. You niggas ain't distributing nothing. Even BET is owned by the so-called white man. Okay?
Man, because to be
Why
honest...
can't both happen at the same time? Both are causes.
Wait.
And those things get disrupted by folks who want to have capitalist gain, by folks who want privatization. We used to have all these mom and pop businesses in our communities.
There's over 3 million black millionaires in America right now. You are an intelligent black woman that is successful.
That's irrelevant.
No one's stopping me from doing anything. I'm an intelligent black woman that graduated and is
Many efforts have tried to stop me from doing what I do. We are not all equal in our capabilities. And we are not all equal in our ability to be invested in by others.
I agree.
We are not all equal in our trauma.
Are we resilient?
We can't say because it is a false equivalency.
I believe that every black person has resilience.
We
from
keep
slavery
trying,
all the way up
but
to
we
today.
keep trying to cause.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out.
It's clean patrol, man.
I want to kind of get rid of this like right left ordeal. I really want to talk about just like our own personal views and what we've experienced, what we've seen. And when it comes to your claim about black on black crime, I really do believe, and I think a lot of people here do believe, especially based off of personal experiences and everything, that it is just lack of accountability. In the black community, we need to start taking responsibility for our actions and stop pointing our fingers at other people and the white man. Because to be honest,
why can't both happen at the same time?
Because
both are causes.
Because you got to clean your own house before you go complain.
Why?
Because if
you're dirtying my house, if you keep pouring shit into my house and I'm cleaning it, why can't I do both? Why can't I clean my house and bar the windows from you shitting on my house?
Because it begins with responsibility within us. If we're like, okay, oh, the white person's doing this to me, the white person's not, we're not going to ever come to the core of the issue.
They are.
We need to take responsibility.
And it's not even just the white person, because now we have seen very many races, people of very many backgrounds that are actively participating in the effort to keep a working class down. Like that is absolutely a fact. It's not just white people. So I don't attend to that. But I will say the reality of there being systems in place is real. Over-policing is a real thing. You know what's also been really real is the effort of violence interruption in certain communities, right? So we've seen this in Detroit. We've seen this in New York. We've seen this in Baltimore, where there are communities that have said, what we're going to do is we're going to be like a neighborhood watch for our community, so that before the popo even come, before 12 even rolls up in here, we're going to actually put ourselves in between the conflict and calm it down. And that has been incredibly effective. But you know what? It's not funded. It's not funded. And you would think that like city councils and mayors and governors would say, shit, you know what? This is going to save us so much money. Because why? Taxpayers keep having to pay for the fault of these police officers. And even though we say, well, only a certain number of people have died, that doesn't dispel the fact that a large amount, more black people are imprisoned than any other group in this nation. And that is not by accident.
Again, I started with accountability, and it just seemed like not.
But I disagree with you. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Because here's the thing: look at our media. Look at rap. Look at what we're glorifying.
Right.
We're glorifying violence.
Who's we? Who's we? Who's
the black community?
Who controls the
black community?
Who controls the distribution of these sources of media?
And who takes it in? And who takes it in?
Listen, if you're okay, so let me put it in this context. If I have a company, right, and you guys are my employees, and I determine what you get to eat every day, that's also going to determine how you exist in this company, right? Like if you come to work and I say the only thing you can eat is processed foods and fried foods and you're not going to get to have the best vegetables, etc. What's that going to affect? Your health, that's going to affect your ability to operate, etc. This is how the United States operates. There's a lot of us that don't want to admit that as much as accountable as we want to be, all of our brains also don't operate the same way. Some of us are much more apt to be indoctrinated than others. That's a fact. There is a 1% of people that knows this. There's a whole show called Mad Men that's about advertising, etc. And if we don't acknowledge multiple things at the same time, then we simply cannot stop it. We can be as accountable as we want to be. And I hope that if you're right, because I hope you're right, I wish that it was a situation where if black people could just be accountable, then nothing else would matter. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case because we have seen when we have Black Wall Street in Tulsa and we have Black Wall Street in Durham, that when we actually do hold our own and build our own communities, they will still come and run it down.
Boss, you've been voted out.
And that's just facts, man. I mean, this doesn't need to be even... You don't even need to have this whole round table discussion, but the fact that she's one after another fighting these coons and coonesses, this is just more proof that this culling of our nation has to happen, man. It has to happen, you know. Like, and she was absolutely right. The media that, for example, that NBA young boy, he's with Atlantic Records. All their biggest label artists are all Jakes, are all Israelites, all right? And who runs it? The Amalekites do, those Ish people, all right? They're the ones that run that music industry, and they scam the people. They scam the artists. And they're the ones that have all the channels. So they're the ones that are really promoting this degeneracy. So that's why the Lord has to just get rid of them, man. That's why the Lord says it's going to be a sifting. So our oppression is real, man. All right? And the ones, and you coons that actually believe that our oppression is not real, don't worry, when Jacob's trouble happens, man. Hey, when the devil comes down on you, having get rough, you're going to feel it, man. The Lord's going to make you feel it, man. He's going to make you feel it. All right? This is Amos 9:8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, all right, which is that Babylon the Great, America, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, all right. He's going to destroy that place, man, all right. Saving, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. Because the Lord is going to save his elect. Verse 9, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations like corn is sifted in a sieve. All right, so there's going to be a great sifting, man. All right, a lot of Israelites are going to perish, and a small minority around the world, the elect, is going to be saved, man. So those, if you're a black or whatever Latino conservative, you got no chance, man. You know, downplaying that our oppression is not real. Our oppression is real. We're living it, and it's biblical, man. All right. Hey, so listen, I pray you're edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.